guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. I hope you are happy, healthy, and of course doing okay. I know I have been so MIA and it was very unintentional, and that is one of the things we'll be talking about in today's video. But basically I have this huge pile of clothing that I need to fold, and this is not all, because I also have something almost as big as this of like Aiden's clothes to fold. I figured why not do some, domestic duties and talk to you guys, catch up. So I asked you guys over on Instagram to submit, just any questions about where I've been, what's been going on since I had Aiden, all of that stuff, especially since I have not been on my platforms much. So this is going to be a very chill video. Please be free to run this video in the background while you get something done, or if you want to sit down, grab a snack. I have my biscuit here. It's only like one piece left, but grab a snack, grab a juice, grab some water, a cup of coffee, anything, and let's talk and let's catch up and dive into all of the questions that you guys sent in. Aiden is currently contact napping on his dad right now, and he'll be up in another 30 minutes or so for another feeding. So let's try to get through as much of this as possible, right? Okay, so the first question here is, did you use a doula after birth? If not, do you wish you had? So yes, I did use a doula after birth as well. Well, my doula, I hired her for labor and birth, but she offered postpartum service assistance, you could get. So she did visit twice postpartum, like in the early stages of postpartum. I think when Aiden was like a month old, and she was readily available via like text messaging or Zoom or whatever. So any questions that I had while we were still in contract, she was there. If you can get your hands on a doula postpartum or even throughout pregnancy and for birth, I highly recommend it. Right now she is still available where I can text her and all of that stuff, like to get advice, especially here in Japan where I don't know too much of like what's available and stuff like that. So I have been in contact with her even after our agreement ended, but I try not to bother her too much, since as I'm not necessarily paying her to bother her too much, you know what I mean? So yes I did, and it's been awesome, and I highly recommend having one. Next one, how has little Aiden been? Aiden has been such a little champ. He is absolutely a good boy. Right now we're kind of in this weird phase where he is struggling a whole lot with naps, so we are not getting like consolidated naps. His naps are lasting like 30 minutes, and when I say 30 minutes I really mean 25 minutes. He starts crying and he needs like a contact nap or something. Like he has to be on a person, like either me or Adam at this point, in order to like have good nap. And by good nap I mean like an hour or an hour and a half nap. So right now that is our struggle. We are not getting long naps from him, but his night sleep has been perfect. But not perfect, but his night sleep has been pretty good since the beginning. We are not struggling in that area. But apart from sleep, he's doing very great. He's meeting all of his developmental milestones on time, and some of them he's meeting way earlier than Google says he should be or whatever. So we're really proud of him, and we're excited to just watch him grow and seeing him discover the world. It's so fascinating for me to watch him discover the world, like especially when we go outside of the house. Like his little eyes are just like, where am I, what is this? It's so fun to watch. And yeah, he's been good, he's been great. What are some pros and cons of living in Japan. In order to not like ramble on, I am going to link in the description down below in the description box 4 videos that I have made talking extensively about the pros of living in Japan and the cons of living in Japan, the pros of teaching in Japan, and then the cons of teaching in Japan. I went very in-depth in those videos when I first started this channel, so I'm going to link them down in the description box below. So if you really want an in-depth explanation of things, I would suggest you check those videos out, and then you can reach out to me and ask me like follow-up questions after, because I really feel as if I went in depth in those videos. Have you ever experienced racism in Japan? Oh, very heavy one for real. I'm going to go ahead and say no, I have not like experienced exclusive racism in Japan. There have been times where I'm either on the train and I sit beside somebody and then they get up from beside me while the train is moving, so it's not as if they got to their stop and then they're coming off the train. It's more like, I don't want to sit beside you kind of. As far as I can recall, it never gets more serious than that. Like, I've never had like someone treat me different in school or at work, or well, school and work is the same for me. I've never been treated differently at work, or you know, like when I go out like shopping and dealing with other people. I feel like for the most part I am treated as a regular human being. I'm not saying that racism does not exist in Japan. It's just a matter of I have not experienced something that I would blatantly call out and say, yeah, that's racism. Maybe I'm just not petty. Like, even if people do treat me that way, maybe I just don't see it as racism, I guess, because I've watched other content creators here that live in Japan, and you know, certain stuff like somebody see you walking on the street and like they have a dog and they go to the other side of the road so that, you know, you and their dog are not, you know, contacting each other and what. Like, some people might see that as offensive. I don't, because first of all, I don't want your dog near me, because if your dog tries to even bite at me, I'm going to hit it. So the further you can get from with your dog or anything like that, the better for me anyway. So if somebody does that, the first thing that comes to my mind is not racism. It's just thank you for coming out of my way kind of thing. But other persons get offended by stuff like that. So yeah, no, I haven't experienced something that I'd say is racism in Japan, apart from the whole train situation that I've told you about. What has been the biggest challenge transitioning into motherhood? Definitely not having as much extra help as I'd want. So if you're new here, myself and my husband, we live in Japan all alone from like all of our family and the majority of our friends. Like, we do have friends here in Japan, but we're spread wide across Japan, and it's very difficult to, like, you know, do the whole meetup and things like that. So it's basically just us, just the two of us, and mostly me doing all of like the parenting throughout the day, because I am on leave and Adam is still working full-time. So even though he's a present dad, he is present at night and on the weekends, and you find that I'm here all by myself, you know, throughout the day, being a mom and all of that stuff. And it's been very difficult to like try to find a balance between like being a mom and then being my own person and then being a content creator, which is one of the reasons why I have not been on here. Is just that I have been finding it very difficult to create like a work-life balance. And by work-life, I mean like this, I'm going to go ahead and call it side job, because I do want, you know, my business of content creating to officially become my full-time job at some point. So even though it feels like much of a hobby, I am going to go ahead and call it like my second job, my side hustle, if you will. I haven't been able to find like a lot of time to invest into this aspect of it, so that's why I haven't been showing up, just to give a brief overview. But yeah, it's been very difficult to like, you know, navigate everything and like figure out Aiden's routine and his schedule, because he keeps changing. Like, developmentally, babies go through so many developmental milestones within their first year of life. So you find that once you start getting a hang of things and you feel as if, yes, you got it down, and you start a routine that seems flexible, something else changes in his development, and then everything goes to crap again, and yeah, you start from scratch and you're like trying to figure it out. And yeah, like I have been saying, ever since he was like 11 weeks, his naps have been like so crappy, like 30-minute naps. So I can barely find time to like shower, eat something before he wakes up, and then he needs me. And like I said, it's not like he wakes up, I can resettle him and he goes back down. He needs to nap on me, so I find myself right here on the couch, offering myself as a bed all day, every day, because that's the only place he'll sleep. And yeah, it's been hard, to say the least. So yeah, that's my biggest challenge, not having the extra set of hands where I could say, you know, could you like keep Aiden for 3 hours while I try to film a video, or while I try to edit a video, or while I take a shower, or while I get something to eat. Like, it's been crazy trying to find that balance, to be honest. Wait, where's Adam's pile of clothing? Oh, right here. What is my favorite and least favorite part of marriage? Now, that is a very nice question. My favorite part of marriage is just having someone here with me at all times, like a built-in best friend. So let me go ahead and say, I highly, I 100% believe in your partner, your spouse being your best friend, because it really just makes your relationship so much more easier to navigate. And my favorite part of marriage is having that built-in best friend all day, every day. I mean, considering, like, you know, we do have jobs and we're not physically in front of each other 24/7, but the fact that I have a best friend that I am coming home to, or know that I'm not working, somebody is going to walk through the door and I am going to be laughing and having fun, and you know, stuff like that. That is my, like, the most favorite part of marriage to me, having somebody that understands you to your core, somebody that you can express your feelings to. I'm very happy when Adam is around, as opposed to when he's not around. I get, you know, just anxious and more depressed and all of that negativity. Yeah, so having that like built-in best friend kind of is my favorite part of marriage. And as for the least favorite part of marriage, I feel as if you ask any married person, they're going to say, like, you know, the disagreements are never easy in marriage, because even though they're disagreements, you have to have this boundary where you are being respectful of your partner and, you know, their opinion on stuff. And as for me, I'm a very my way or the highway type person. I love to get my way, and you know, Adam is not necessarily always about exactly what I am about if we have like a particular situation. So you find that disagreements can be not fun. And don't get me wrong, Adam is the type that will try to make me happy regardless of how he feels, which we are trying to work that out. And I'm trying to let him understand that, you know what, it's not worth it if you are going to agree with something I want you to agree to, just because you don't want to upset me. Like, you are your own person and you are free to disagree with me and like voice your opinions and stuff. So that is something that we are working on. I am trying to relax my little self in, you know, my way or the highway kind of behavior, and just allow him and his opinions to shine through more, I guess. But yeah, disagreements aren't fun in a marriage, guys. Marriage is hard work, because we've been there where we're like, this is too much, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's your person, and if the person is really your person, then there's honestly nothing that you guys cannot go through. Communication is key. That is also another area that we are actively working on, communicating, because yeah, I have had to come to terms with the fact that Adam is not a mind reader. So if I need him to show up for me in a certain type of way, like, I need to be telling him that, instead of just sitting there and waiting for him to realize that, oh, I'm sad, and do something about it. I need to be able to say, you know what, I'm sad. So yeah, that is my, let me know if any of you guys are married. Let me know what is your most favorite and least favorite part of marriage. I would love to hear other person's perspective on, you know, marriage, and what they enjoy the most and what is the least enjoyable, honestly. So let me know down in the comment box below. So I have emptied this first batch of clothing, so I'm going to quickly put these in drawers, and then we're going to start on the baby clothes and finish out the questions. Okay, so Aiden woke up and he's all about his food once his eyes are open, so I'm going to feed him and continue the questions. Alright, so the next question while I feed Aiden: how long is your maternity leave? So here in Japan, maternity, you have two different types of leave that you can take while you are, I guess, raising a baby. So you have maternity leave, which starts at 6 weeks before your due date, and then 8 weeks after your baby is born. So my maternity leave started October 18th, because that was 6 weeks before his due date, which was November 29th, and then he was born on November 13th, so my maternity leave was 8 weeks after November 13th. But here in Japan, you have access to something known as child care leave, and that is basically taking leave time off of work until your baby turns 1 year old, and then in some situations you can get it extended depending on if you get accepted into like daycare and stuff like that. So here in Japan, like, getting into a hoikoen is the Japanese name for like daycare or nursery school. It's very competitive, because if you don't know, Japanese people, most of them are workaholics. You do have a huge like a good percentage of housewives here, but you know, some people work, and even the housewives, they enroll their children in daycare so that they can have some amount of free time throughout the day. So you find that daycare is quite like competitive. So if you are ready to go back to work, like after the year has passed and you cannot get a spot in daycare, then you can extend your childcare leave. It does not happen all the time, and of course you have to have valid reasons for wanting to extend before you can actually get that extension. But the better or the best part of being able to stay home until your baby is 1 year old is the fact that you do get 60% of your salary while you're on childcare leave. For maternity leave here in Japan, it is not paid or paid based on your health insurance. Majority of us ALTs here in Japan have national health insurance. If you're a part of the national health insurance crew, then unfortunately you don't get paid while on maternity leave. But if you have like the social insurance that is paid through by your company or your employer, you get paid while on maternity leave. So in my case, I am on the national health insurance here in Japan. So for the 6 weeks before due date and then the 8 weeks after baby is born maternity leave, I was not getting paid. Currently I am on childcare leave right now, and they don't pay you monthly, by the way. They pay like every other month or something like that. So even though I'm on childcare leave, I should be getting 60% of my salary, but I have not gotten my first payout yet, because childcare leave for me started in the later part of January. Now we're in March. I am looking forward to my first payment either by the end of March or early April. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But that's basically how the whole leave situation works in Japan. Okay, if you could be granted one wish, what will it be? Wow. Right now, in the moment, I'd wish for a stay-at-home job. Like, I would want to not return to my full-time job and just go full-time in YouTube and content creating, so I can stay home with my son. Of course, I'd have to figure out, like, you know, how my days would go with him and me being at home, but I would love to not go into a 9-to-5 anymore, to be honest. Like, if I could, that would definitely be in the game for us, but unfortunately we still have financial goals to meet. That would be my wish. Whoa, whoa, you hear this? All right, next question. How are you mentally, and how do you feel about returning to work and leaving your son at daycare? Very good question. Thanks for asking though. I feel as if many persons don't ask about the moms once they've had babies, or you know, it's just always about the baby. How's the baby? How's the baby? And everyone forgets moms. So thanks for asking. To be completely honest with you, you guys know I'm all about real life, and I share just real stuff regardless of how it looks to others. And to be honest, up until this point, like the last few days, I have been in a really bad place mentally. I honestly have diagnosed myself with postpartum depression. I have not gotten like checked out for it and like professionally diagnosed by like a doctor or whatever, but I have read and I know the symptoms of like postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression, and I checked all of those boxes, to be honest. So I have diagnosed myself with postpartum depression, and this is not an easy topic to discuss. So if you're going to comment, be kind, because this is real life. When Aiden hit, I think like 2.5 months heading into 3 months, that was when things started getting a bit more rough, because he was like, you know, coming out of that newborn phase, and he was, you know, developing, and you know, things got harder. I understand when people say like the newborn phase is the hardest, but to be honest, like the newborn just born stage, like up until like maybe about 2 months old, those days were relatively easy for me, because he would just wake up, eat, stay awake for a little while, and then back to sleep, you know what I mean? But now he's been awake for more longer periods of time. He is starting to have an opinion on how he sleeps, how long he sleeps for, and all of that. And right at about the 2.5-3 month mark was when he started taking all of these short naps, and yeah, things got really downhill for me from there, because I am home alone all day. I have to take care of him, and I also have to take care of myself. That was one of the things I really did not want to get into postpartum, where I have zero time for myself. I wanted to show up for my son and also show up for myself, getting my content out. I had so many ideas of videos that I was going to be getting done, all the newborn content, and then when I found myself not being able to do all of those things, it really put me in a bad place, because I was telling even Adam, I was like, I'm just being a mom all day, every day, and even though I love my son, it would be nice to have some time for myself where I could just focus on either taking a shower, making and eating a plate of food without having to stop in the middle. And this is just mom life, I know, but there comes a point when it all just gets a bit overwhelming, especially when, you know, Adam is not at home, where I can say I feed the baby and then he could take him and like do some activity or stuff like that. It's just me. So I found myself having to put him down for his naps, and then knowing that within 30 minutes he's going to wake up, so I gotta run to the shower. And if I need to use the toilet, that's another story, because some of the times I've had to like cut that little toilet session in half run to get the baby, resettle the baby, and try to attempt whatever I'm doing. Sometimes I could get a shower in, but I could not get to brush my teeth. Sometimes I could get to shower, brush my teeth, put clothes on, but I could not get to eat until like well after midday, stuff like that. So that really put me in a bad place mentally, and I basically was not having a good time. Like, I spent a lot of days just crying, and Adam would ask me, so how is the day going? And I would just send him a picture of me crying my eyes out. Like I was at a point where I felt as if I was over being a mom. It was just hard, and this is me being completely honest. It's still hard, but after being in a funk for like 3 weeks, almost a month, I have gotten to this place where I'm like, I need to start taking control of my life again. And if it means, oh my goodness, poop, oh my god. So I was at this point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I am going to like find him a daycare where I could send him, like, maybe not all day every day, but maybe 1 day a week, 2 day a week, just so I can have like a few hours to myself to just be me, or create a YouTube video, or edit a YouTube video, or just catch up and sleep, or just watch TV uninterrupted, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's been mentally challenging, and that's why I have not been on YouTube, because I just could not find the time or the energy. Even if, you know, Adam did come in at the end of the day, and then Adam would pick up where I would leave off, and I would have some time to myself. I found that I would just, you know, sit down and relax and watch like the TV, just to, you know, relax. Like, editing a video was not on my mind. I just did not have the energy or the capacity to like edit a video even after Adam got home, and I would have like a few hours to myself. So it's been very difficult to say the least. And how I feel about going back to work and leaving him at daycare, I don't feel great about it. I had said to myself that I was only going to take childcare leave until he's 5 months old. So I would be returning to work in May. And remember that you can take childcare leave in Japan for up until your baby is 1 year old. So up until now, I had said I'm going to return to work when he's 5 months old. But as of late, I really feel as if I want to stay home for the full year, for so many reasons, you guys. Like, I want to be a part of all of his developmental milestones within this first year. I do not want to pick him up from daycare one evening, and then one of the nursery teachers are like, guess what, he crawled for the first time today and I missed it. You know what I mean? I want to physically be there when he crawls for the first time, or, you know, when he does something new. And I feel as if, since I do get 60% of my salary while on childcare leave, like the 40% that I'm not getting, I feel as if it's worth it to stay home with him and just be there and develop that bond with him for his first year of life. So yeah, my feelings really changed about going back to work and leaving him at daycare within the past few weeks. And now I'm actually going to stay home for his first year of life, and then we see where it goes from there. I may return to work, or God may just bless us and another opportunity comes up where I can either do this full time or get a part-time job, so I'm not away all day every single day of the week, and I can, you know, still be around him most of the time. We don't know what's going to happen after he turns 1, but for right now, I'll be staying home until he's 1 year old, because I'm not, I thought I would be ready, but I'm not ready to leave him at daycare and then go. Like, he's so little and he's so needy, and I'm like, he fusses a lot, especially in the day, and he wakes up from naps at 30 minutes, and I'm just not convinced that the teachers at daycare, like, they're patient enough to deal with him when he's fussy like that, because some of the times I'm over it some of the times when he's fussing, and I'm like, you know what, I've had enough of this, I cannot deal with it. So if even me as the mom can get so like irritated, I cannot imagine what like the daycare persons do. Like, what if they just throw him down one side and they just let him cry? And no, I cannot even imagine. So I think it's best for me to just be here right now. We'll try to sort out our like saving goals and all of that once I get back to work. So it just really means that Adam and myself, we just have to be okay with staying in Japan just a little bit longer so that we can get back on track with our financial goals to move out of Japan. Yeah, so that's really the con of all of this, is that it's going to take us a little more time. But yeah, I'll be staying home for right now. Alright, so I am on the second pile of laundry to fold. This is the big thing of baby clothes that I have to fold, and I am going to answer one more question here in this video, and then I'm going to call it a part 1 because there's still so many questions and still so many clothes, and the video is already so long. So how is mommy life these days? And which is more work in your opinion, a 9-to-5 job or a stay-at-home wife? Ha 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 ha. I like the last question. These days it's been very challenging. I will be honest with you, it is mentally exhausting to deal with certain things, especially because we do not have extra hands. I will not say Adam helps me to look or to care for Aiden, because Adam is a parent and he does not help me with the baby, he parents his son. So yeah, mom life has been challenging in the sense that it's just us, no extra hands, no family, no friends close enough, or you know, no friends close enough like to give us a helping hand or whatever. So that's been the most challenging, because I can hardly find time to get stuff done during the days, and then you know, in the night Adam is here, yes, but there's still so much to do, and things would be just way better if, you know, I'd have some help in the day and we could get like the housework done in the day and stuff. So that's how mom life has been the past few weeks. It's just it's plain hard. And if you're a mom and you ever feel as if you can't do this anymore, if you feel like you're in the thick of it and in a moment you probably hate being a mom, like, you are not alone. I have been there. Let me tell you, I have been there. Sometimes in the thick of something happening, like you're really at the end of your rope and you feel as if you cannot go on, like this is crazy, this is insane. And if you are that mom, I stand with you, I am you. You are not alone, and your feelings are 100% valid, even if no one lets you feel as if your feelings are valid. Because that's another thing too, like, as a mom in days like this, if you complain, people got a lot to say, like, why you have kids, or didn't you know it wasn't gonna be easy and stuff like that. And of course we knew that it wasn't going to be easy, but still, like, when you're going through the thick of it, the only thing you can think about is the fact that you are going through the thick of it, and it is pretty damn hard. So if you are feeling some type of way in your motherhood journey right now, big hugs, you're not alone. I'm right there with you, and we'll get through it together, you know. I'm praying for y'all. The other question, which is more work in my opinion, like a 9-to-5 job or a stay-at-home wife, I'm going to have to 100%, like, before having kids, I would definitely say that having a 9-to-5 would be much harder, because who likes to get up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning just to go work for somebody else, you know what I mean? But having been at basically a stay-at-home mom right now for the past couple of months, being a stay-at-home mom is hard, man. Like, it's hard. And if I did not have the husband that I have, it would be so much harder, because at least when you have a 9-to-5 job, like, hear me out, like, both jobs are hard, but like, I'm speaking from like my standpoint, having done both of them at this point. And with a 9 to 5 job, yes, you hate your 9 to 5 job. You hate waking up to an alarm that basically runs your life, and you get up and you have to travel and you have to basically work for another person, and you're at your job and you probably hate being there all day and you can't wait to get home. And yes, that's hard. But on the other hand, so I hated my 9 to 5 job, and then I became a stay-at-home mom right now. And then, you know, being a stay-at-home mom, you're taking care of the baby, you have to take care of yourself, or at least try to take care of yourself, and then you got to take care of your home. So you have laundry to do, and like, as you can see, I have so much laundry because it's been weeks. Like, I keep washing clothes, but they're just not getting folded, and we're at a point where people in the house have to be taking clothes from like the hamper or somewhere like that. So I know I needed to get the clothes folded. So you have things that you have to manage your home, plus you're managing your child, plus you're trying to manage yourself, and it's just overwhelming. I am in the thick of it, and I cannot find time in my day to cook dinner and have food ready on the table by dinner time, by the time Adam gets in from work. So thankfully, he's the kind of husband, he comes home, and even though that's like 7 p.m. at night, he does the cooking. On the weekends, he's home, he does the cooking. He's not allowed to like fold the clothes because, guys, men and just things that homemakers do, like, he's not going to fold the clothes the proper way, or he's not going to put them in the correct place and stuff like that. So yeah, the clothes folding is off limits for Adam. But like, you know, other stuff like washing the dishes, cooking the dinner, or just putting a load of laundry in the washing machine, stuff like, why am I folding pajamas? These are hung. Oh my goodness. Putting stuff in the washing machine, that he can do, and those stuff he does do. So he has the roles have really reversed in my house right now, where Adam is doing a good chunk of like domestic chores, and I'm more so focusing on myself and just like ensuring that at the end of the day the baby is still alive. And I thank God that he is the way he is, and he's not more so complaining about the fact that I can't have dinner ready and on time, and you know, he's tired and he's coming in from work and I am home all day and you haven't gotten anything done. And that is another misconception too, that stay-at-home parents stay home and do nothing all day. And if I'm being completely honest, I had that impression too, because I'm like, how hard can it be to take care of a baby all day, until I'm taking care of a baby all day, and I really realized that there's just so much more that goes into taking care of a baby than feeding them and putting them to sleep. Like, if you have a fussy baby, the baby is crying at all times of the day, you can't shower, you can't eat, or if you find the time to eat, you have the baby on one side, you're eating a piece of bread over here, the baby vomits, you have to change the clothes, it poops, you gotta, like, it's just a lot. And so yeah, you can hardly find time to do stuff. So I'm like, right now, going through the thick of it, I'm going to have to vote with stay-at-home wife being the hardest of the two comparisons here. Aiden is turning 4 months old in a few days, and I'm just now trying to reach to a point where I'm like, you know what, I cannot continue like this. I am a person outside of being a mom, and whatever means I have to use to like be able to be a person outside of being a mom, that's what I'm going to. That is why I have like intentionally been setting time to get back into filming and get back into editing, because I'm like, I cannot continue for an entire year while I'm at home just be on the couch being Aiden's bed. I love being his bed and I love being his mom, but not all day every day, you know what I mean? Like, I need some form of a consistent nap somewhere in the day so I can get things done. It's not happening. I had given myself the go ahead to like put him in daycare for like, you know, 1 or 2 days a week, but guys, the trouble with that is my milk supply and not being able to pump enough to send him to daycare with. And he doesn't take formula. He absolutely hates formula. I have now tried 3 different brands of formula and he has taken none of them. So yeah, that's a struggle bus that I cannot send him to daycare unless he takes formula, because I just don't have enough milk supply to feed him, plus pump the extra milk to send him to daycare with. So that is also a struggle. But yeah, being a stay-at-home wife is difficult, man. And that is where I'm going to close out part 1 of this Q&A, because like I said, it's already long. So be sure to be on the lookout for part 2 of the Q&A. If you have enjoyed the Q&A so far, give the video a big thumbs up. Of course, subscribe to my channel if you have not already, especially if you're new. You are going to be finding lots of mom content over here, lots of real life motherhood, like things you can actually relate to. If those type of videos are things that are really up your alley, consider subscribing to the channel down below. Hit the notification bell to be notified every time a video goes live from me, and I will catch you in part 2 of this video, which I'm going to just head straight into. So bye guys.